to the call. Welcome to our call today. I am really excited, to be doing this call today, and I really believe that this is going to be a really phenomenal call. And everyone on this call is going to go home, or is going to, when we're done with this call, you will feel very fulfilled. You'll feel like, yes, I've got this, right? So we're gonna, look at a couple of markets, but we're gonna look at markets that we are familiar with, the markets that we trade, and you're going to see how we call some of these trades and what we're looking out um for some of these trades. Last week was a little rough, but I think this week has been better. But overall, like I said, and I would still say, the market is moving crazily right now. It's moving, in different directions. I mean, in my opinion, it's still respecting structure. It's just that the way that it moves, now is just, very different. So one thing we need to really be careful, we are really like focused on, is protecting your account by all means. Whatever the case is, making sure everyone's account is protected, because I promise you, this is a season of accounts blowing left, right, and center. I promise you, like, even the big traders, like, people are taking serious L's. But it's just to kind of adjust to what the market is doing and just adjust to it. You don't have to force it to do what you're expecting, or force it to move the way you are expecting it to. Once you identify that the market is changing, just adjust to it, right? And you're good. And don't get so attached to the outcome of a trade. All right. So with that being said, we're going to jump straight into the market. I hope everyone here has trading view. I hope everyone here has trading view. Put a one if you have trading view, either on your laptop or your phone or an iPad. Obviously recommended for an iPad, on an iPad rather, recommended on a laptop. For a phone, I have it on my phone, but I synchronized the one on my phone is obviously like the same thing I have on my laptop, right? It's just, in sync. So I use that on the go. I'm able to probably look at the market on the go, even though I don't exactly like it. I like to look at my laptop to see, a clearer view, but it just helps me because I can't carry my laptop everywhere. So on my phone, I'm just able to look at, certain zones that I've marked up on my laptop. So download it on your phone and also have it on your laptop. Just connect the both of them. So whatever it is that you're analyzing on your laptop, you can always see it on your phone on the go. All right. So just three people have view. The rest of you, please go ahead and download it. Okay, go ahead and download it. You're going to need it for yourself in the future. Mark up your charts. Go ahead and download it. And once you've done that, just let us know in the chat and put done, because I want to be sure that everyone is on track. Download on your phone, download on your laptop or your iPad, whichever device you're using. All right, so we're just gonna jump straight into it. I'm going to share my screen now, and let's look at it. Looks like we missed the gold sale. No worries. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? All right, cool. Okay, so I'm going to analyze the market. The way I analyze it for every trade that I take, and you can copy the same strategy if you want. You might have your own strategy that you use. Perfect, whatever works for you. There's no perfect strategy when it comes to trading. If there was a perfect strategy, we will all be multi-millionaires right now. Okay, so there's no perfect strategy. There's only the strategy that works for you. Okay, and if you can stick to it, even when you take losses, your strategy still works. This is something I struggled with when I started trading. When I take a loss, I'm like, oh, this doesn't work. I just kept changing strategies left, right, and center because I was looking for the perfect strategy. I was looking for the one that works. And then I realized over time that, there's no perfect strategy. And that's why people take money from people. People even, deceive people and say, I'm going to teach you my strategy is the best. There's nothing like that. They're only going to teach you what works for them. It might not work for you. It might not be the way that you like to trade. So you don't have to be all over the place looking for what is the best strategy. Just figure out the strategy that works for you, practice over time with it, and understand what you are doing. Okay. Another thing when it comes to this is try to keep it simple. Don't be everywhere. Don't be in this market, that market, everywhere. If you notice, myself and Dr. Duce, who are, doing more of calling the trades, you would notice that I'm not, I don't think you guys have ever seen me call it Ethereum, right? I don't trade Ethereum. However, I can mark it up, I can look at it, but it's not a market that I'm so familiar with over time, right? You would notice Dr. Duce calls trades on Ethereum. She calls trades on oil, US oil. She calls trades on US 30. Barely would you see me, calling those trades. Not because I don't know how to call them or I can't mark them up, right? We all can mark them up, but that's not like something I've traded over time. So I'm not so familiar with how that market is moving, and I've not looked at it for a long time. So, I might just be calling a trade based off assumption, right? So that's another thing. Just keep it simple. So if you look at my charts to the right, right, can everyone see my watch list to the right? Can you see my watch list to the right? If you look at it, you would notice like I just have few pairs. It's just matter of fact, some of them are actually even stocks. I think I have about 3 stocks here that I'm monitoring, right? So I just have 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs here. I actually even added US 30 recently because we're also calling it on the group. So I just kind of like look at it and follow up with what the trade is doing. But it's not like, ooh, wow. It's not like it's something that I trade often. So just keep it simple, but trust me, your strategy, whatever strategy you are using, eventually got to sell. Whatever strategy you are using will work for most currency pairs. It's just that you need to know the times that those pairs move the most, the kind of fundamentals that affects the pairs, the kind of, information that affects the pairs, the time that it works best. For a pair like gold, it's moving 24 hours, literally not 24 hours because there's time where the market closes, but it moves like London session, New York session, even at night is constantly moving, right? Especially this period. So I don't have to bother my head with what time it moves the most. However, you are going to notice more volatility when the New York session opens, which is now 3:30. It was 2:30, but daylight savings, right? So now it's 3:30 when the New York market opens. So you're going to notice more volatility. Also during London session as well, you're going to notice a lot of volume. Some people will tell you that, oh, during London session, gold will buy, during New York session, gold will sell. Those kind of things will keep you in a box, right? So you're buying, and all of a sudden you're expecting a sell just because it's New York session, or you were selling now in New York session, you're expecting a buy. Those kind of ideologies will just keep you trapped. That does not mean it doesn't happen like that over time. Sometimes it does, but that does not mean that that's the way it happens, where you are now expecting the market to do a certain thing because you've kept that ideology in your head. When I started trading as a new trader, I used to always just think, oh, it's sell, sell, sell. I never really used to buy. When I see the market start buying, I don't think it's like, it's something that I should be doing. I just used to focus on sales. I was so biased to just trading sales that I never like changed my mind to say, oh, the market can actually go up. I was always just looking for sales. So I was just trapped in the fact that, oh, I'm looking for sales. So it happens, right? So yeah, you don't want to get trapped with that. So you want to be very flexible with what the market is doing, irrespective of how you feel or how you think or what you expect that the market will do. Did we all get that? 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 Right? So be very flexible, but keep your strategy on check. Like you don't have to change your strategy or change how you trade just because if the market is doing anything. Just kind of stick to what you do, okay, and keep it very simple. All right. So wow, this US 30, the US 30 that took some money, it eventually went back to do what it was supposed to do. All right, so let's look at gold. Let's look at gold. Now, how I trade, oof, this has been um analyzed. I'm probably going to open a new one because I don't want to scatter this one. I don't want to change anything. Anyway, we're going to still use it anyway. Now, how I analyze the market. This looks so funny. Oof, this is a lot. Anyway, how I analyze the market, I do what we call the top-down analysis. I start from the top and then take it all the way to the bottom. So I start with the higher time frames and then I come down to the lower time frames. The higher time frames will help you to see the overall trend of that pair of the market that you're trying to trade, right? So if you don't start there and you are just going on your 15 minutes chart just to, take a trade, you might be missing out on the picture. So you realize, oh, it's selling on 15 minutes, but overall, it's actually buying, right? So you don't want to miss out on the trend of the market just because you're trying to rush in to a trade, right? So first, you start with your monthly analysis. I'm just going to open gold on a new. I'm going to open a new one because I already have this one. So we'll do the analysis together. Um, okay, this is very close. Good. All right, this is a brand new one. So we're going to analyze this like we're just doing it for the first time. So I like to start with the monthly. Why is this looking like this? Okay. I like to start with the monthly. You don't have to, but I like to start here. I'm already used to it. So I use my tools. My favorite tool here is the horizontal line. I use it like every single time. You can also have these other tools. I made them my favorite so that I don't have to check for them every time. So what I like to do first is find the highest point and find the lowest point. Never say never in the market. So it will never go down there. Anything can happen, right? So I like to find the highest point, and I also like to find the lowest point, and then identify other zones called our support and resistance zones that the market has done something. Now, if you guys look at this, I'm just going to zoom this in a little bit. If you look at these area, just take this a little bit up. If you look at this area, you would realize that the market has bounced off this zone um, about 3 times. And I'm even glad that you guys are getting to learn this so that when we call trades, you can actually check it out yourself and see why we call certain trades. And if we say, oh, close this trade, or I'm still holding this trade, you understand why, so that you're not like really in your emotions, especially if that trade is going into a loss. All right, so can we see these zones, these yellow areas that I highlighted? Can we all see the yellow areas that I highlighted? So the market got to this zone and it bounced off 3 times, right? Number one, boom, bounced off. Number two, boom, bounced off. And then the third time, it bounced off, but then it broke, right? So this was our candle that broke out of that strong resistance zone. So you see this candle right here. I'm going to send a book after this call for you to really understand candles. Very, very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. So this candle broke out of this zone that has been, failing to break about 2 times. And this was our confirmation candle. But guys, this is a monthly chart. If you want to wait for a whole month for this to happen, then you probably will not make any money, right? Especially if you're a day trader, right? So this happened for a whole month. So for us to actually find trades, we need to come down to the smaller time frames. But at least we've been able to identify that zone. I'm still going to identify one more if you guys see it as well, somewhere around here. This is a very strong zone. Remember, we're on the monthly time frame. For something to happen, to take months to happen, it just tells you that there's something serious happening there, right? So this is another zone that I identified. Um, there's one here as well. Remember, there are 2 candles here. So I'm also going to drop this. Don't worry, when you go to the smaller time frames, you see more candles in that particular zone. So I'm going to drop that there. And I like this one here as well. I like when we're doing stuff like this. I get to even see what I was not seeing myself. All right. So can we all see the zones that I identified? You can identify as many as possible, as many as your eyes can see, right? We like to keep our trading style Okay. All right. I think my screen is back. Okay. Yeah, it should be back. All right. So we've identified these key zones. So we're going to come down to the weekly time frame. Going to come down to the weekly time frame. Okay. On the weekly, I can see another bounce off this zone. Okay. Can we all see another bounce off here? Can we all see that? Can we all see that? There's another bounce off there, right? So, as you come down to the smaller time frames, you will see more. Okay. And it would even give you more entry opportunities, right? So these are our bounce off zones. These are like support zones, um, demand zones, whatever people like to call them, right? This is another area. So it's more like a zone. Now, here's the thing. If you want to just, keep it at a particular number, a particular line, you might miss out on multiple touches. So let me do this. So we can see this whole place. It's not really about, oh, there's a zone or a line. It's actually, there's a line rather. It's actually a zone, and you want to just look out for the market going to those zones. So if you notice, right, let me just zoom this in a little bit. If you notice, guys, look at this. The market did not come all the way down to this line, but it touched this zone. It came here again, it touched. So we actually had multiple touches around those zones, which could have been very, very good places to actually buy. Are we all seeing this? Are we all seeing this? This is on the weekly, guys. So these are very strong zones we don't want to ignore, right? Because it happened on the weekly. Can we all see this? Is everybody seeing this? Is everybody seeing this? So this is like a zone, right? This is like a zone. So sometimes the market might come into the zone, it might just touch the zone, and it's still going to do like, give a good reversal, or it's going to just, break out and retest and stuff like that. So you don't want to be so stuck. Oh, it didn't touch the line. Oh, I was waiting for it to get to 1636. You want to identify a zone, right? Possible areas where the market, has touched. It could be the weak, it could be full body, it doesn't matter, right? So identify those zones. So I think we've had, okay, let me just zoom this in a little bit. I like to identify as many as possible because this is the weekly. Something is happening here, but not okay. I've got something here. I'm gonna mark this one up. I don't like to keep any I like to keep I don't like to keep any stone untouched because markets respect zones. There's a popular saying in the market: if you want to know what will happen in the front, look. If you want to know what's going to happen in the right, look to the left. Right. So I like to mark these zones out just so that, you know, just in case the market comes there in future, we would wait to see a possible reaction. So I like to mark as many as possible. That's why you see a lot of lines on my stuff. Okay. Now, guys, pay attention to this. Look at this. Can you see this drama that happened here? Now, I will not exactly call this a. I like to just shade this out, right? Because I don't know what the drama that happened here, but personally, I like to just shade it out. I like to just, you know, I would not trade this place, except maybe if I go to the smaller time frame and I see something. But this was a series of nothing happening, just the market just, just kind of consolidating, no actual trend. Remember, the market's either going up or coming down, but this was just giving us, candles just within a particular range. So I will not oh, I will not, necessarily trade this, but on the smaller time frame, we might see something. So for things like this, I just like to shade it out, just like this place as well. I would just just shade it so that I can see. Oops. I can my eyes, just kind of keeps my eyes there. So in case I see the market doing anything around there, I just, just keep my eyes like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen. For things like that, I would just be waiting for the market to break out of that. That's not a market I like to trade, because what will happen is you will just keep dancing between profit and loss. I don't know if you get ever taking trades that, you're just dancing between profit and loss, just like what happens to BTC over the weekend. It's just dancing now, nothing serious. So for something like this, I would just patiently wait for the breakout, because that's when we're going to get good money, good trades, and sometimes almost zero drawdown. Look at this, another breakout, and so this breakout happened sometime in October, and the market just went all the way up, and it's created the highs and all of that. So that is that with the weekly. So let's come down to the daily. So why we keep coming down is we want to identify areas that we can actually find some trades, because it's a smaller time frame. Now remember, on the weekly time frame, I told you I will not trade this market, right? I will not trade it on the weekly. But when you come down to the daily, you can actually find some areas of support, some areas of resistance that you can trade. However, I do not recommend it still, but yeah, you can do that. And maybe when you go to the 1 hour, you would probably even find more trades. Okay, so we have some zones there as well, and then we have this little guy hanging here. Now, let me just delete this for a second. Look at this place, guys. I like to call this place this. No, I don't want to use this tool. Let me just use this one. I like to call this place like a risky area. You see this thing that happened here? I like to call it a risky area, because if you look at this, right, you can see the market went up here, came down here, went up here, came down here, went up here, came down here. We have kind of like an area that we can mark as it's consolidating, but we can see support and resistance happening there. But here, uh, I don't know what happened here. So I like to call this like my risky area. So you'd see me put like R or something there. So I don't want to trade the market around that zone. I need the market to actually break out of that zone. And because that's not anything, like that's not a serious movement for me. It's just one of those pranks that the market plays. So I don't like that. So I like to just term that like a risky area, and I'm just looking for the market to actually break off that risky area to find a good trade. Okay. So right now, gold. To be honest, guys, what we are expecting for gold, these are kind of trades that you hold for weeks. Okay, because gold is actually coming down. Since the market broke out of this zone, it never came back to retest the zone. Now, how do we really trade? We wait for the market to break out of a zone. We wait for the market to retest that zone, right? And the perfect buy would have been from here. So if the market comes all the way down here, if it might, trust me, because no matter how long the market takes, most times he actually retests the zone that it broke out from, most times. So if the market does this, we would now be looking for a good buy from this zone right here. Okay. Now, another scenario is the market can come here and still break this zone and come all the way down. Okay. So if it does that, I will not be trading this zone, because I don't know what's going to happen. It might start going up from here, it might keep going down from here, it will put you in a fix. So again, I would wait for it to actually break out of this consolidation area, give us a retest. Oops, sorry guys. Give us a retest to now tell us that, okay, I'm not still going back up. I want to come all the way down. And then we'll be looking for our TP around here. Now, do I see gold going all the way to 2007? I don't know. Anything can happen in this market, trust me. Just when you think, oh, this market might never crash. Look at what happened to Bitcoin today, right? Bitcoin was as high as 120K and literally went to 100K today. So I'll be looking out for this, right? This is just what you're looking out for. Now, does that mean that because I said this selling, uh, a buy opportunity cannot happen? It can happen. Don't forget, we are seeing the daily time frame, so we would find that maybe around the 4 hour time frame. Okay, or maybe the 1 hour or the smaller time frames. Okay. So now we are down to the smaller time frame. Um, all right. So it's still looking good. However, we have some zones here. So we're gonna mark them out as well. Don't forget, guys, mark as many support and resistance. Like nobody will ever tell you, oh, it's too much. There's nothing like that. Mark as many support and resistance zones that you can see. What happens is when you see the market around those zones, it just your eyes would be you'll be at alert, like, okay, let me see what's going to happen if the market, what the market's going to do at these zones, how is it going to react at these zones. So that's why I mark up a lot of support and resistance zones. I don't get tired of it. I enjoy it. I like to see it because it helps me. So I'm going to put this here as well. And don't forget, this is a very strong time frame, 4 hours, right? The 4 hour time frame is another very strong one. So the market reacting offsetting zones on the 4 hour time frame is very, very strong. Very, very strong. Okay. So this is the 4 hour. So it does look like gold is going to come down to about 3009 because there's a zone here, right? So I'm going to zoom this in so you guys can see. All right, so we've got a zone here where the market came rejected, it came again rejected, and then it broke the zone. And then the market came back down to the same zone, bounced off, came again, bounced off, and now we see the market approaching that zone again, right? So now I'm not telling you go and boom, go and sell. We did call it sell today, but I told you guys to close their entry because the market was, just going to play a very tricky move, and I didn't want that. So yeah, very likely gold will come down to this zone, right? And then we would wait for the reaction, right? So you don't want to now jump in, oh, I want to buy. That's why you say things like, oh, wait for the candle to close, because how a candle closes tells us where that market is going to, right? Is this market, looking to, break this zone and keep coming down? Is it going to close above and, a new candle to the upside will form? Then it will give us a stronger confirmation for a buy. So when those trades are called, these are things that we look out for. And when we see the market reacting differently and we're like, oh, close it, or oh no, I'm still waiting, I'm still holding the trade. These are the things that we see, and that's why we are saying, oh, just hold the trade. Oh, don't panic. Don't worry, the market is just in its thing. Overall, this is where the market is still going, if that makes sense, right? So there's another zone here that I would mark out actually, right? So that's why this particular area for me is a risky zone. It's a risky zone. So I'm just going to put the term R here again because it's just a zone that the market just did something funny there. Okay, so we still have a zone here at the top. Don't forget, guys, mark up as many as possible. It doesn't matter. You can, do the full body, you can do the candle. What's important is the level, right? Key levels. Right. So this is what I'm looking out for. Gold is, let me just zoom this in because this candle is very tiny. Right. So gold is dancing around this zone. It might come down here to 3009 and we might see a rejection. We don't know if it's going to go up. The candle will tell us, right? The candle that closes around that area, that zone, is what's going to tell us where the market is going to. So we're not going to rush into anything. Mind you, guys, these days the market is very funny. This market can come down here, close, the candle looks good, closed above, and the next candle can break below, right? And you'll be in a buy. So in that case, just follow where the market is going to. Don't follow, oh, but this thing looks like a buy. It looks like a buy. You're forcing it. Meanwhile, there's a strong candle that has broken below, right? So that's why we do not attach emotions to this market. We do not attach our whole life, oh, we must do it this way. No. Follow where the market is going to, even though you've analyzed it to be going in a certain direction. Am I making sense so far? 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 Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. So yeah, so we're done with the 4 hour. I really like this time frame. Like I love it. It's one of my best. Sometimes if there's a lot of drama happening on smaller time frames, I would just keep my MT4 on H4. Let me just be looking at what's happening there. I don't care about the rest because sometimes the drama that happens on those smaller time frames can just make you go very, can make you overwhelmed, and I don't want to feel overwhelmed. All right, so let's go to the 1 hour. A lot of people take trades off this time frame. It's a very good one as well. Not bad at all. Also good to a good time frame to use to wait, because 1 hour just goes by real fast. So it's a good time frame to wait and see what the market is doing. And then waiting for the candle to close. So you guys can see that this our zone is a very, very good zone. So we just need to wait and see what gold is doing around this zone before we jump into any trade. My bias is actually going to drop down to 3.9, and then we'll see the overall reaction here. If it breaks this 3.9, gold is going all the way down to 3004-ish area, because that's the zone that I need to retest. If it doesn't, which it might not, because it might not be ready to go down like that, and it might just give us another buy up to 4K again. So that's just what I'm expecting for gold. So yeah, that's it so far on gold. Any questions from our gold analysis? Any questions from our gold analysis? I want to be sure I'm not missing out on anything. Any questions? Any questions? Are we all good? If you're all good, just type I'm all good. If you have any questions, please drop it. Are we all good? Trying to make sure I'm not missing out on anything. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm just saying this. Explain what? I can't explain the whole thing again. It's not possible. Definitely not. I can't do that. You have to watch the recording. I can't go over everything again. Oh, the 4 hour time frame. Okay. Well, it's just coming down. The 4 hour time frame is just, every candle here takes 4 hours to form. That's just what it means. It's not like there's anything special about it. I just said I like it because it just gives me clarity. These smaller time frames like 1 hour, 30 minutes, it's too much going on. Like that's why I say people that trade 1 minute, 5 minutes, you want to give yourself high blood pressure. Like you want to be admitting yourself in the hospital every time because there's a candle forming every minute. So a green candle will form, a red candle will form, and it just makes you feel like, oh, the market's going up. That's why you hear people say, now, it's going up now. I just know that you are looking at a smaller time frame. That's the only thing. It's going down now. That's not trading. That is not trading. So you are just giving yourself high blood pressure. So yes, I can take trades off of those time frames. Definitely not five. I've never traded a 5 minute time frame. I've never traded a 3 minute time. I've never traded a 1 minute. My last bus stop is 15 minutes. That's my last bus stop. I like that time frame. You know, it's not bad at all. But 5 minutes, 3 minutes, never. Not me. Like I will never do that. So sometimes I said even if I take a trade off for 15 minutes, I keep my blood pressure in check and just stick to my 1 hour, 4 hours, like on my MT4. But I'm still looking at where that market is going to based on time frame I took it. But I just for my blood pressure's sake, right? I like the 4 hour time frame. Okay. Um yes, you can take trades off 15 minutes for sure. I do take trades off 15 minutes. The trade on gold today was I actually called it off for 15 minutes. So sometimes what you might not see on a 1 hour, you might actually see on 15 minutes. You get what I mean? Because the candles there and stuff like that. So I do take trades off 15 minutes actually. I do. 15, 30, anything that looks good. 1 hour. Yeah. Don't worry, go over the recording and it will just make sense. All right. So Let's go to 30 minutes. So you can still identify more zones on the smaller time frames. Okay. You can still identify more zones. But I think the zones are still like the same from the higher time frame. So I don't need to draw anything else. But if you identify anyone, you can always draw it out. So yeah, that's that for gold. That's that for gold. That's that for gold. So let's look at BTC. We all cashed out on BTC this evening. I was really happy about that. Um, again, my BTC is already drawn out, so I will now let me just I don't know if Dr. Duty might come and explain because she called it straight, so I'll just leave it anyway. Um and it does look like gold is doing what we expect it to do to 21. Looks like, but again, I'm not trying to dig in that trade. We already smashed today. All right, so we're going to look at BTC. So I'm going to open a fresh one. Please pay attention. I'm going to do the same analysis. What's the time? I'm going to do the same analysis. It's just a different pair. Okay. Mm, BTC, USD. I like to choose, we have different brokers here. So I like to pick the broker that the price is close to what we have on MT4. On MT4 we are all of us are using XNES. So just pick the pair that the broker that the price is close to what you have on your XNES. So let me look at Binance. 100. Okay, Binance is pretty much closed right now. All right. Hmm. Looks like I used to use this before. Let me just delete them. What was the button that you could delete everything at once? All right. So sorry, let me just delete all of this because starting from the scratch. I thought there was a way to right click and just delete all this stuff. I don't I did this. Anyway, just quickly delete this. So Bitcoin is experiencing a bloodbath. And personally, that's why I don't like to keep coins in currencies, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, because it's very volatile. Anything can happen. Today it can be high up there, tomorrow it's liquidating everybody's money. So I'm not against it though, but personally, no. Sorry, I don't want to just open another one because just use this one. I think at some point I was using this and then the price just changed all of a sudden. Stopped using it. I already marked it up. All right. So there must be a way to delete this thing at once. I just can't figure it out right now. All right. So let's um let's mark this guy up. All right. So wow. All right. So again, we are starting from the monthly time frame. If you missed the gold analysis, please pay attention. Okay. We're starting from the monthly time frame. Okay. We have some zones here already identified. Very good. So we don't have to do much. You can mark it up on your body. Some people like the body, some people like the week. Me, I don't really care. I just want to put my eyes where my eyes are on. Okay, you can identify the body if you want. That's the body of the candle or the week. You can place your horizontal lines anywhere, just just for reference. Just for reference. All right, so nothing much happening here. Yeah, I'm gonna mark the lowest, even though I don't see Bitcoin going to 16K, obviously. But never say never. This market. All right, so let's go to the weekly. This baby faster, because we've already done all the explaining. Um, more zones we identified here, but uh, okay, nothing serious happened here actually. Just going to put this zone in mind. Um, and then we're going to come down to the daily. What we're doing right now is what we call top-down analysis. All right, so make sure you write that down. Top-down analysis. All right, so I think we'll be able to identify how we came up with the BTC trade today. Now, we have some zones here. The zones are very tricky, actually. Very, very tricky. All right, so I'm just going to just keep this guy shaded here because we had a lot of drama happening here. All right, so we have some areas here. The market tested, tested, tested. It broke out, came, retest, kind of did a fake breakout, went up again, retest, came up, up again, retest, and now it broke that zone to the downside, right? Now, let's see. All right. We have some fake outs also happening here. So remember what I said, guys. It's not like it has to be one particular line, like this line, but it's a zone. Some people even change their from candles to line charts so that they can really get the zones. But me, I like to see the candles, right? So that's another thing you can do. All right. So remember that I said that Bitcoin would get to 100K as TP1 and then 98K approximately as TP2. The reason is this. If you look at this area, this is somewhere that Bitcoin has got into before. And we can see that it's kind of approaching that zone. It has broken this key zone, right? This key zones here, and it's actually like, I like to say it's like hanging, like it's not anywhere like of any possible or any previous reversal. So very likely it would come down to 98K, right? It actually needs to come down to 98K. There's a lot of drama happening here, which I don't like. BTC does this a lot, but we're looking at Bitcoin to come down to 98K. If it breaks 98K, then Bitcoin is probably going to 82K. I don't know if this is going to happen. It might just start reversing from here and give us another, push to the upside, but that's on the daily anyway. So let's come down to the 4 hour. With Bitcoin, you see a lot of drama, and that's why some people tell you I don't like trading Bitcoin because it's very dramatic, really. And it gives some very funny, funny zones. But still my guy anyway. All right, I'm going to mark this out. I do not like it. It's not clean. See if I can move this up a little bit. Again, we're overall looking at the zone, not necessarily the line. The zone, not necessarily the line. So I'm just going to mark it out and just have my eyes around those zones. See how funny BTC is, right? See how gold was pretty much was clean, but CBTC is just sometimes a bunch of nonsense. Like look at this. Look at this. Guys, what would you say happened here? Let me just zoom this in a bit. Wouldn't you call this a bunch of nonsense? Can you see this? Can you guys see this? Let me just just shade it a bit. Can you see this? Can you see this? I like to call it a bunch of nonsense. So these are the kind of markets that you will get in and you just get trapped. Like you don't even know what's going on. It just gets you trapped. It looks like we had a zone here giving us support resistance, but then what happened here? What was the drama that happened here? So you see sometimes, yeah, some of these markets are like just made to confuse you, but stand your ground. They say the market when you don't panic, right? So it looked like we had something good going on here, but then this guy just confused the whole thing. If it kind of gave us like that move, like, oh, I'm going to go up, and then boom, it kept coming down, and then it kept coming down, and just a bunch of nonsense. I don't blame people that don't trade Bitcoin, honestly, because what is all this? Anyway, that is that. So I don't like what I'm seeing. However, we saw a good trade today because we saw that breakout happen to the downside, so we knew it was going to keep going down, right? It's like a free fall. And very likely it might come down to 98K. So that's what we're looking out for Bitcoin to come down to 98K and possibly go up if it wants to. I don't know. That's that. All right. So all right. So let me go down to the 1 hour. See. So remember what I said, when the market breaks out of a zone, you always want to make sure that you wait for the retest to now catch the continuation, like catch the sell. Because this was a risky sell. I mean, when it broke out of this zone, it pretended like it was going to retest. It did not go and give us a retest. So some people had a sell limit around these zones, which they never caught, and the market just tanked. So sometimes the retest might not happen immediately. Sometimes it happens immediately, gives you a good entry, and sometimes it just never happens, right? So that's another thing. So that's how we caught the sell today, and we are still looking at this guy going down to this zone. So if you have the trade going on another account, and you are holding for the sell to 98K, you are still in good hands, right? So that is that. Honestly, I do not like how BTC is looking at all, at all. I don't like it, but it's what it is, right? So let's look at 30 minutes. So sometimes depends, especially weekends, you might find better trades on smaller time frames because it doesn't move over the weekend. But to be honest, I really don't like how BTC is looking. I'm just going to wait for it to either come down here, this 98,500, and then wait to see what's going to do around here to take any trade. For now, I think we're done. We've cut the sell. If you're holding, you can hold to 98K. If you're taking partials, good. But overall, that's what I'm looking at. I really don't like how BTC is looking. These are like the two pairs I really look out. I really analyze. So I will not be going on over other pairs because I do not analyze them. Any questions? 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 See if I'm missing out on anything. Any questions? If you're good, let me know you're good. Okay, good. All right. So basically, when you analyze trades, if you are just starting out with analysis, try to take your analysis on your demo account. Try to take your analysis on it. What's going to happen is going to build confidence. I used to have someone who say, "Oh, analyze this," and tomorrow say, "Oh, and it went down." And my next question is, did you take it? So you don't want to be an analyst, right? Chief analyst, and you are making no money. You are not taking any trade. You are just analyzing. Doesn't make any sense. I used to be that person. Trust me. I will analyze and then take nothing, and just be happy myself. It's actually went down. It did this. No, like the question is, did you take it? So in the beginning, to build confidence, take it on your demo account, build your confidence around it, right? Take your whatever you think, whatever you analyze and you think the market is going to do based off your analysis, go ahead and take it on your demo account. And I think I don't know if that was what Rotimi did today, but I saw Rotimi say something like he took a trade, a gold trade, a sell limit on his demo account, made about $3,000. Very good, right? Very good. So build your confidence around that. Take it on your demo account. You're not going to lose any money on your demo account, right? And if the market does not do what you are expecting the market to do, then you learn from that. Okay, what did the market eventually do? And that's why I like to put these arrows to see where the market eventually went, like how it eventually played out, so that you okay, this is what happened. Then you learn from it, right? So you don't have to just analyze and do nothing. That's the essence of having a demo account. Analyze and take it on your demo account so that you build your confidence over time. I promise you, before you know it, you are so good. You are taking trades and you are killing it. And aside that, when trades are called and you see the trades, you can go on your own MT5, sorry, trading view and look at, oh, this is what they're looking at for, so that it reduces those fears that you guys have, right? Like, oh, it reduces the fear because you can see what we can see, right? So that is that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask now, because I don't want this call to be too long. I thought we are going to do fundamentals today, but it might just be information overload. So I think the next class, either Coach Steph or Dr. Duce might take the fundamental aspect, right? So that is that for the technicals and the market outlook. That's what I'm looking out for. So maybe what you guys can do is, let me give you guys a little assignment. Go and analyze Ethereum. Analyze Ethereum and probably analyze US30, which is also a pair that we take. Looks like Ethereum is just like doing a free fall. But anyway, go and analyze it. And let's see what you come up with. All right. So guys, if there are no further questions, thank you so much for jumping on. I hope everyone got value. If you got value, just put a 7 in the chat. If you got value, put a 7 in the chat. And I'm looking forward to you guys, doing your own analysis and also understanding how to mark up the chart. All right. So thank you guys. I will drop the recording when you send your $50 to me. Okay. And you drop your $50, I will share the recording. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Have an amazing, amazing night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.